Events in the Yellow Sea took a turn for the worse.
Time is short, so I'll keep this brief. In the year of 2002, Ubisoft released the first entry of the Splinter series. It proved to be a good competitor for the stealth genre and was further refined in 2004 with Pandora Tomorrow. That brings us to 2005 with the release of Chaos Theory. It's not only considered to be among the best of the series, but actually makes many people's best games of all time list. Is this praise well-deserved, however? Let's find out together as I review Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory for the PC.
This blockade is an act of war. The NSC is working on a formal response.
I'm probably stating the obvious here, but this game relies heavily on stealth. While it's very possible to go in guns blazing, you can expect alarms to go off leading to tougher guards, and you don't exactly have a ton of health. Rather, the game expects you to hide in the dark or even make your own darkness. I should mention that 2 different versions of this game exist on consoles, not counting others like handhelds. In the PS2/GameCube version, we'll just call it the standard def version, levels are more simplistic, segmented into parts, and less lights can be shot out. The Xbox and PC versions, which we'll call the high def version, the one this review is obviously based around, use more complex levels and you can shoot almost any light in the game. Naturally, this is to your advantage to create shadows. You're also able to use an EMP device in your pistol to temporarily short out lights, being quieter at the cost of a timer. Not all types of lights are so easy to tamper with, however. For instance, candles require you to blow them out up close, and natural light just can't be disabled for obvious reasons. The game makes use of a light meter to let you know how visible you are. Being partially visible will lead to suspicious guards, while fully visible makes them instantly hostile. Of course, light isn't the only factor at play here. You also have a meter detecting how much noise you're making. It also has a small square to represent the ambient noise, so you know how much noise you can get away with making while remaining undetected. You have various gadgets to help you get through an area, such as sticky shooters to knock out guards, as well as the sticky cam that can catch their attention and emit knockout gas. Of course, if you can get behind them, you can also grab them. I always pursue this option whenever possible because sometimes you have the option to interrogate them. In addition to potentially gaining intel like a key code or the numbers of guards in a location, they just tend to be funny to listen to.
Are you crazy? We're on the 60th floor.
What? What do you mean?
You know, it's not true that you go unconscious before you hit the ground. You see it coming the whole way.
You wouldn't.
You want to convince me not to?
You can deal with a grab guard by either squeezing his throat until he passes out or backstabbing for the kill, or you can just use him as a human shield, I guess. In most levels you can kill, but there are a few levels such as one where the National Guard has been called where you have to use non-lethal means. I typically avoided killing whenever possible anyway, so this didn't really bother me. You have the option, however, to use your pistol and rifle as well as some add-ons for the rifle to shoot and kill with. Just be aware that they create noise and can easily cause guards to go hostile. You can actually choose from 3 equipment types at the beginning of a level. Those favoring stealth, those favoring combat, or Redding's Choice, which is a hybrid of the 2. In addition, you also have 3 nifty visual modes via Sam's multi-vision goggles. There's the expected night vision to brighten things up, of course, but they work like actual night vision, so using them in well-lit areas can actually blind you. You can use thermal vision to see guards or certain invisible obstacles more easily, and EEV that allows you to see electronics, especially interactive objects. Guards are typically armed with standard rifles, but may even be enhanced with things like thermal vision in some rare circumstances. The final level even has guards with non-lethal rounds that if they hit you cause you to go unconscious and trigger a unique reverse interrogation on Sam. Getting out of that requires you to pick your cuffs, which is actually a good time to segue into lockpicking. You can pick locks in the PC version by using the WADS in whatever direction the next tumbler is until it's picked and it's off to the next one. Hacking basically has each number reveal itself one by one, in which case you lock it down and pick the right corresponding one on a list. You can either locally or remote hack, but if you fail a hack, it raises the alarm level, so be careful. There are security cameras to be on the lookout for, even infrared ones that see in the dark. The one saving grace with those is that you can see the infrared with your night vision, allowing you to avoid it. You can also short out cameras with your EMP pistol. You have a variety of different missions on any one level. Primary missions are absolutely necessary, secondary aren't technically required, but the game will force you to do it later if you don't. Opportunity missions are obviously completely optional. If you can, you should try to complete as many as possible. You get some statistics on your performance, including an overall stealth rating at the end of each level, and on the PC version at least you can quick save, so make good use of it. Overall, I think Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory has some excellent stealth gameplay. I tried a bit of Metal Gear Solid 3 and I felt it was a bit more hectic, less methodological. Maybe I was just doing it wrong, but I like how Chaos Theory gives you exact meters for your visibility and audibility. It made stealth relatively simple, and the ample opportunities to hide in and make shadows also helped over MGS's well-lit environments. That's just my opinion, but Chaos Theory has to be the best stealth I've seen.
President will have puppies if he finds out we're doing this.
The game takes place chronologically after Pandora Tomorrow, but you don't really have to have played the previous games. The reason I know this is because I haven't and I was able to keep up just fine. Just know that Sam's a top secret agent who doesn't officially exist working for Third Echelon. This goes without saying, but critical spoilers inbound. The game starts at a lighthouse after a techie named Bruce Morgenhold is kidnapped by a group of radicals. Sam is tasked with rescuing him, but when he finds him, he's already been tortured to death. Sam soon discovers that it was under the orders of Uga Lacerda and that he made his way to a ship called the Maria Narcissa. So a tourist group kidnapped and killed the programmer of a powerful computer algorithm. It definitely starts out strong. Sam makes his way to the ship, navigating through several perils, including the engine room, which is flooded with gas. Luckily, these well-trained professional guards don't notice or smell the gas and will still shoot on sight. After making it out of there, Sam proceeded to, among other things, ice Lacerda. It comes to light that whoever funded Morgenhold's kidnapping was going through the MCAS bank, so Sam has to stage a break-in to get that info. After utilizing locks in several different locations and creating false evidence so it looks like an inside job, Sam takes advice from an inmate.
What is all this stuff?
The charges are for the vault, and the other thingamy-bob is a telemetric lockpick.
Using a synchronized lockpick, he gets inside the vault and finds out his information. Their lead is that Circazy worked with Morgenhold in the past. As they're talking about this, New York's power grid just conveniently shuts down.
This is no coincidence.
Whatever, Lambert. In any case, the National Guard are called in to quell the situation. Seeing as how Sam can't technically exist, he has to get past them without killing them. Making his way to Circazy's apartment, he realizes that mercs from Displace were hired to serve as security. Alright, this is where it gets good and personal, as Displace is helmed by Doug Shetland, an old buddy of Sam's. Sam is investigating leads regarding a Dvorak, which Sam assumes must be a ringleader. When he finds an older man and asks about it, the most funny thing occurs, and it turns out Dvorak is a very ancient punch card computer. After a delightful little process of extracting information from it, Sam heads to Displace to get to the bottom of things. He soon learns about Milan Nettich, a sketchy arms dealer. And this is where things really start to heat up, because a ship known as the Clarence E. Walsh is taken out by an anti-ship missile of North Korean origin. Making matters even more complicated, the ship's systems seem to have crashed right before it hit. It's obviously connected to Morgenhold's algorithm, but they don't know this. While this is going on a television, Sam meets Doug in a bar and tells him to cut Nettich loose, but Doug refuses. After accepting Doug's business card to use as a coaster, Sam heads out to Hokkaido, a hideout that Nettich relocated Circazy into. Sam takes out Nettich, but Doug assassinates Circazy and gets away. Sam has to put his personal feelings aside, however, because North Korea denies responsibility for the attack and the world is at the brink of war. His former friend Doug would have to wait. Sent to a Korean battery, Sam discovers the North Koreans were telling the truth and has to subsequently abort a missile launch to prevent war. Heading to Seoul, Sam learns that Displace used kernels obtained from Circazy to sink the Walsh and frame North Korea. The time has finally come for Sam to deal with his old friend. He's sent to spy on Shetland in a Tokyo bathhouse. It turns out Shetland was making deals with the ISDF, but it all goes wrong and the two sides break out into a firefight. Among the chaos, Sam has to disarm bombs planted by Shetland before facing him on the roof. You can choose to shoot Shetland or not to, but Sam will stab him if you choose not to, so it's mostly a symbolic choice. Doug says he wouldn't shoot an old friend, so if you shoot him, that means they're no longer old friends, but if you stab him, which is what I chose to do, it means that he really wouldn't shoot an old friend. Well, this is where Sam's personal story with Doug is put to an end. This isn't where the real story ends. Admiral Otomo intends to use the Colonel to attack a Japanese city and spark WW3. After stopping both it and Otomo attempting to waste himself, Otomo is forced to take responsibility for the attack on the Walsh. And this is pretty much where the game ends, with Sam being put on vacation leave. All in all, I must say I really enjoyed the story. It had enough twists and turns to really keep me engaged, and the complicated friendship between Sam and Doug really gave it a sense of drama. Some may express displeasure in killing Doug not being the final thing you do, but I think it fits here in terms of the bigger picture. You can tell that after having to kill his old friend, Sam wants to just get it over with already. This is especially apparent if you got captured from the aforementioned less than lethal rounds.
The whole facility is on alert. Are you sure you're okay to continue the mission?
Now that you mention it, maybe I could use a week on the beach instead.
You'll have it, as soon as we find out what's happening in the war room.
It ends resolving the overarching plot, so I think it ends in a fitting enough way. It isn't all about Sam after all. I haven't really played many of the Splinter Cell games, just this, Conviction, and some of Double Agent and Pandora Tomorrow, but this is definitely my favorite of the plots.
No hitter, bottom of the 8th. 2-0, New York in the 8th. Akira Watanabe is on the mound. He's pure concentration, pure focus.
Utilizing the Unreal 2 engine, Chaos Theory is absolutely gorgeous for its time, especially the PC version. While the different console versions have various levels of fidelity, with the Xbox version coming the closest, this is simply a game that demands to be fully enjoyed in full HD. Obviously, having released in 2005, the textures and polygon counts have aged just a bit, but the lighting and shaders really hold up. It's almost a shame taking out the lights because the shadows really do add to a scene. The environments have a good deal of variety to them, from the exercise room of a security office to the rooms of a Japanese resort. You even get to learn all about the North American tree slug, and if that isn't entertainment, I don't know what is.
This voracious detrivore is considered by many to be simply a snail without a shell.
The vision modes on Sam's goggles also provide some nice contrast to the world. I've mentioned this all already, but the night vision actually makes use of bloom in realistically overbright lit areas, so don't always have them on. Honestly, it doesn't do the game's graphics justice to see them in pure green anyway. The thermal vision is typically helpful if you need to pick at enemies, but in another sense of realism is blinded by the steam in the bathhouse level. The EEV is probably the least impressive looking, just a simple flat gray with white to distinguish electronics, but still, it's full functional and that's what counts. The faces have probably aged the poorest, but they do suffice and at least their lips move. Of course, in the pre-rendered cutscenes they hold up much better, but this is still a game from 2005, so set your expectations accordingly. Honestly though, you could do a lot worse for an over 15-year-old game, and the lighting and parallax mapping really do help it hold up. The game likes to use ambient sounds a lot, but the levels do each have music that kicks in from time to time. Each music has its own calm, suspicious guard and active combat variants, with each sounding fairly fitting to the situation. The voice acting is likewise very well done, and it's weird going back to how Lambert sounded in Pandora Tomorrow after having played Chaos Theory. Chaos Theory's Don Jordan definitely does a much better job giving Lambert personality, in my humble little opinion. No offense to Dennis Haysbert.
Freeze, Fisher. I'm getting new information. Grimm's daughter thinks she's gotten through to Ingrid. Now the whole mission will look like a robbery. They'll never know why we were here.
Honestly, one of Chaos Theory's more endearing qualities is how the characters play off each other.
Lasers are so...
90s?
I was going to say 70s. Can you please stop making me feel old?
Got bad news for you, Sam. You are old.
Sam is especially entertaining, both when he's talking to the rest of his crew and when he's interrogating guards.
Oh no! You are going to kill me, right?
Only if you say the word monkey.
There's this one thing he says if you choose to take the time to save 2 pilots and Seoul, and it's one of my favorite quotes ever.
You don't even exist, Fisher. You can't get a medal for this.
Medals don't help me sleep at night, Lambert.
Overall, the presentation holds up surprisingly well. It being a 2005 game, it's aged on a technical level, but this just shows that games around this time started holding up better. Games like Half-Life 2 and Doom 3 hold up surprisingly well due to their impressive shaders, and Chaos Theory is likewise. Sound design is likewise golden, no complaints here. Overall, would I say Chaos Theory deserves its high praise? To put it simply, yes, 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 yes. Yes! It stands as my favorite stealth-centric game by quite a margin. Hell, it's one of my favorite video game stories period, and easily has a place in my favorite games of all times list. The game is very beautifully crafted to always give you options, whether it's how you want to go about a situation, what methods you want to use, or even if you want to go full stealth or not. The game is very beautiful for its time, and in HD I still think holds up better than you may think. Any real complaints I'd have about this game would boil down to petty nitpicks. Simply put, Splinter Cell Chaos Theory is an amazing game, and I'd highly recommend it to anyone who can appreciate a slower-paced stealth game. Even if stealth isn't normally your thing, Chaos Theory might just make a believer out of you. This has been my review of Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Thank you for watching, and remember, this conversation never happened and I don't exist.